Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, a podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Mercy, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she's working full-time at an oncology office. She just started a new clinic where she focuses on testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss, and IV infusion therapies. She's needing help obtaining new clients, client retention, and positioning her clinic for success. Hey, Mercy, how are you?
Good, Justin. How are you?
Hey, doing good, doing good. All right, well, thanks for hopping on here. So tell us about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what you've been doing.
So I've been a nurse practitioner for less than a year, maybe 8 months. But I've been a nurse for 10 years, and it's always been in oncology. Currently, I work for a big hospital system in New York doing oncology. And I decided to start my own clinic. I've been thinking about this for 3 to 4 years. And my old coworker, I saw on Instagram, she had started her own clinic. So I reached out to her and she introduced me to your podcast in November. So I started working on it and here I am.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been an NP for 8 months and you're wanting to start your own practice already.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about it for forever. I always wanted to do the IV therapy. And then once I started listening to your podcast, I was like, oh, there's, so much more that I could do. So I decided to do weight loss and TRT as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for you. I mean, good for you for wanting to do it so early on, right? Like, hopefully you can get
It's
out of the rat
scary.
race. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it is scary. It is scary, but once you get started and get going, it's really like you'll look back at it and be like, that shit wasn't hard.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I applaud you for getting started very early. I think a lot more NPs should start their own practices sooner than later. A lot of people wait 5, 10, 20 years to do it. So, you starting it within a first year of practice is, that's going to position you for, hopefully a really good career. So,
Yeah.
How old are you? I'm just curious.
35.
35. Okay. So that's, it's about the same age as I was really whenever I kind of started getting started. So it's it's a good age. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So your plan is to continue working at this oncology office while your practice kind of starts growing, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What are your hours like at the oncology office?
So I work Tuesday through Friday. So I have Mondays off and the weekends. That's when I plan on doing this.
Okay. Yeah. You really only need 1 day a week to get one of these little practices up and running for a while. I mean, I only
Yeah.
ever saw patients 1 day a week at my clinics. I never saw patients more than that. So you got some time to do this. Do you have any other kind of obligations in your life, like children or anything?
Yeah, I have 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old. And I actually also had a per diem job, which I just stopped going to last Monday because they wanted me to do more hours. And I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I have to dive in. So, yeah, it's, husband and kids and this and
Yeah.
my full-time job. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you are going to be spread thin.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. So tell me a little bit about your situation financially. Do you have like an emergency fund? Do you have, like just tell me a little bit about,
Yeah.
where are you financially, I guess?
So I got lucky with this. I was able to start this so quickly because once I spoke to my old coworker who introduced, hi, if you're listening to this. I had actually stopped. I just started this new NP job, but at my old RN job, I had a pension plan I didn't know about. It was separate from my 401k. So I got a letter saying I had this pension plan which I could take out or keep it in there. So I decided to take out 10 grand of that to start this. Um, as far as fund, my husband and I don't really have like an emergency fund aside from, our 401ks and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, but we both have, good jobs. He is in finance. So, you know, yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you have income coming in. I guess the point of that question was, you're not going to be eating ramen noodles getting this business started.
No, no, we
Yeah.
have we
Okay.
have income coming in. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So you're in a pretty good position here then. So, all right. So tell me about this practice. You just started it a couple weeks ago, is my understanding?
Yes, so I got lucky. I live in New Jersey, and this town is pretty affluent. And there's a psychiatrist who started an all cash business office, and he has four offices actually, but it hasn't been going well. I guess people want to use the insurance. So he rented out an office to me, which is what I'm using. He's rarely ever here. And there's a health system in New Jersey that has like an outpatient site here. So I can put, a sign on the road and hopefully attract those patients that are coming to, I don't want to say its name, the doctor's office is here.
Okay. And do you have any patients yet?
I so my husband and I are originally from Connecticut. So I don't have a lot of family and friends that I can, have come in. So I actually have to get patients. So I've had a friend whose friend is supposed to come in soon, and I had someone make an appointment, but they didn't show up last Saturday. And today I actually had someone make an appointment for this upcoming Saturday. So hopefully I'm gonna have two patients this upcoming Saturday, one for an infusion, one for a consultation. They didn't say exactly what, so I have to reach out and see.
Gotcha. Okay. Are these people just booking online?
Yeah.
One piece of advice, just real quick before we move on, is that if you allow people to book online, you want them to you want them to invest in it to make sure that they show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're gonna get a lot of flaky people. They're gonna book it and they just never show up and just a waste of your time. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of that. And so you basically have a couple options here. Number one, you require a deposit to book. Um, that doesn't go over well for a lot of people, and that will prevent some people from booking. The way that I do it is that I require lab work to be done before I ever see the patient.
Okay.
Okay. That way, if they get labs, they're going to show up. Okay. So, I mean, I would say probably 99% of the time, if they do blood work, they're going to show up for their appointment. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, you might want to just maybe rework your initial flow. So, you're doing testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss, and IV infusion. Obviously, with an IV infusion, people don't need, need lab work for that. But for weight loss
Mm-hmm.
and testosterone replacement therapy, they do. And so one piece of advice for you is make sure that you have them do blood work first before you waste your time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For them to do blood work is just you writing an order, nothing else. It's really easy unless you want to do the labs in office. Are you planning on doing the labs in office or are you just having them go somewhere to get the blood work done?
No, I'm having them go to use the insurance to do blood work.
Yeah, okay. Do you have an account with a local lab or are you using Access Medical Labs? What are you doing?
I have Quest and LabCorp.
Yeah, okay. Do they give you cash rates or are you just going to let people use their insurance or both?
Both.
Both. Okay. So this is what I would do. Create a standard order. Okay. Everyone
Okay.
get, everyone who is doing weight loss, everyone who's doing testosterone replacement therapy, they all get the same blood work basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So create a lab order for testosterone replacement therapy, create a lab order for weight loss. Like you don't have to see these people to order lab work because the lab work is the same regardless of who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So create two standard lab orders, sign off on it, and just have it ready to go. When they book, they're booking for a lab appointment, and then they get basically emailed or they can download the lab order immediately, essentially, or they book and then you call them and basically just talk to them for 5 minutes and be like, okay, well, I'm going to email you your lab, a lab order. You can take this with you to LabCorp request. They get it done. I get the results back in a week. When I get the lab results back, I'll call you to schedule the appointment.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
get them locked in. Make sure they invest to do the visit.
Okay.
Okay. This will dramatically cut down on your no-show rate.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So just change that. That's a pretty easy fix. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any questions in that regard?
Um, no, no.
No. Okay. Um, okay. So yeah, so just do that. That's just a little tip for you. Um,
Okay.
okay, so you got a couple patients booked. I mean, you just started 2 weeks ago. I mean, I think when I started my men's health clinic, I think I might have had like two patients the first month or something. I mean, it was pretty slow. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not really marketing a whole lot, then, I mean, that's probably going to be what you're going to expect. So, that's okay, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing from a marketing perspective right now?
Google and social media. I've done a few Facebook. I know you've said for Facebook to work, you have to invest a lot of money. I haven't done that much, just here and there, and Instagram too. But on Google, I've been doing like $50 a day.
For Google search ads?
Yeah.
Do you have just the basics set up, like a nice website and a Google business listing?
Yes,
Yeah. Do you have any reviews on there yet?
I have one.
Um, Prioritize getting as many reviews as you can from friends and family.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm doing that now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Try to get like 10 reviews on there, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I first started my men's health clinic, I'd have like the medical assistants at the urgent care I was working at give me fucking reviews and like whatever. Like you just
Yeah.
gotta get you just gotta get some reviews on there until the real ones start coming in, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this might not be the most ethically business thing to do, but you know what? At the end of the day, you're running a business, you need some patience, so who cares,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So get some reviews. All right. That will definitely help because when people search in your area for testosterone replacement therapy or weight loss or whatever, you want to come up on, Google Map basically, and you want to have some credibility with some reviews, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely do that. You don't have to say what the name of your practice is, but does it say testosterone replacement therapy or weight loss or anything in it?
No, it just says the name and wellness clinic, and then I have like on my Google list, and I have men's health, TRT, weight loss, IV therapy.
Is that actually in the name of it? Or is it,
Yeah, in the name.
yeah, so it's just the name of your practice hyphen testosterone replacement therapy and weight loss?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So keep it very, very simple. Just the name of it, hyphen testosterone replacement therapy, weight, put like say like a testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss, and IV nutrient infusion clinic. That way, when people
Okay.
search for those things, you'll pop up and it's pretty obvious what you do.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with your Google business listing and the reviews and getting, search and found and that kind of a thing, that does take a little time. Okay. You're not going to like start a Google business listing and start getting calls, day one. Like usually takes a little while for that to kind of start happening. All right. So really the name of the game with the free stuff, like having a nice website that outlines your services and, having your Google business listing and that kind of stuff, the name of the game here is just being a little patient. Now, $50 a day on Google Ads, that's a reasonable budget. But if you're spending $50 a day on Google Ads, you should be getting one patient a day from that. Average patient acquisition cost for most people is anywhere between, 25 to $50.
Okay.
So if you're spending $50 a day, in theory, you should be getting at least a call every day or, a few calls every week. I mean, you should be seeing something from that. So with that said, with your Google business ad, is it pretty obvious what the ad is about what you do? What's your ad say?
Honestly, I'm not sure because I just did the Google listing, and then I'm not very tech savvy. My husband's supposed to do this for me, but he's been busy. I just, edited the people I wanted it to reach and my town and the towns next to me.
So you don't even know what it says?
Wait, let me pull it up and see what it says.
Because like usually when you do a Google search ad, you type in kind of what the search ad says. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to be a little more strategic with that and make sure that, it actually like says
yeah.
something that you want it
I'm
to
probably
say.
just wasting my money.
You're probably just wasting your money, correct?
Yeah.
And you know what? That's okay. I mean, when you start a business, you waste a lot of money on shit, and like you just it's, the only way to learn it is by experiencing it.
Yeah. Okay. So when I go to my Google Ads, like the app on my phone, I'm not even sure where to see the actual ad. Am I doing this wrong? So I have the Google Ads app and it shows me like how many people have clicked on the page and is there supposed to be an actual ad?
Yeah, there should be like a campaign that you start for it. So I'm not
Hmm.
really too sure what you're paying for here. So in Google Ads, I personally don't like doing it on my phone. I like doing it on a computer. It's a lot more intuitive. You can do a lot more. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like running ads and stuff on your phone, doing it with a computer, you're just able to do so much more. Okay. So I would highly advise not operating ad campaigns and stuff from your phone.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna sit down with my husband tonight and get him to do this and take a
Okay.
look.
So log into your Google ad account. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Log into your Google ad account and figure out, what you're paying for exactly, but create a actual campaign, a Google keyword search campaign. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have Google search ads. So basically, if someone in your area types in men's health clinic near me, your clinic should be popping up as an ad at the top, or weight loss clinic near me, weight loss doctor, weight loss, uh, medical practice, whatever the keywords are in your area, you want to use those keywords. And when someone searches that keyword in Google, you pop up. Like that's what the point of the Google search ad is.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember doing that when I created it. I put in all the keywords. Um,
But you don't remember actually typing out some ad copy though? Like
oh, you know
actually
what?
type.
I think I did. I did some I used some of your stuff from other podcasts I've listened to where like 10% off your first infusion, free B12 injection, cheaper than the competition.
Yeah,
I
stuff like
remember
that.
typing in stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. You need to take a look and see like you need to get in there and see what's going on, like how many clicks are
Yeah.
happening and that kind of thing. You're spending $50 a day. You should be in theory getting, I mean, you should be getting some calls or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was you, I would just pause that, stop wasting your money and really figure out what it is that you're doing with that. Um, I mean, I'm not a Google ad expert by any stretch of the imagination. Um, but there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube that you could watch to make sure that you're optimizing it and doing it correctly.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't hire someone to do this. It's a waste of money. Um, because you're just a new business startup. So I would not waste my money on that. I would go ahead and pay your dues and figure out how to do it yourself first.
Yeah, my husband's pretty tech savvy. He'll figure it out.
Okay, well there you go. So just use him. Yeah, just let him do it. All right.
Yeah.
Um, and just have him watch some, tutorials or whatever he needs to learn learn how to do it
Yeah.
and understand what the metrics mean and that sort of a thing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's a good start from a marketing perspective. You know, Let me ask you, is there a lot of competition in your area for this stuff?
Yeah, there are some doctors doing it. Especially with the weight loss, there's a big, med spa place that does it that a lot of people go to. Um, Other than that, there's some doctors' offices that do them for the weight loss and TRT too. I've seen like two or three doctors around me that do it. But so the town that I have my office in is next to the town that I live in. The town that I live in doesn't have any TRT clinics or like a specific weight loss. So that's where I've been advertised. I've been going to like barbershops and salons and um, trying to leave my business cards there.
How big is the town that you live in?
So in my town, we have 25,000 people. And then the town my office is in is 30, almost 31,000.
But the town that your office in doesn't have any competition.
No, that has competition, but where I live doesn't have competition.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused here. Okay, so where you live doesn't have competition, but where your office is has competition.
Yeah, so I'm trying, but it's pretty close. It's like, the same, it's maybe like a 10-minute drive. So it's the same
Well,
area.
it's all connected by
Yeah,
neighborhood
it's
and
all
stuff. It's the
connected.
same
Yeah.
thing.
hmm
Well, I mean, have you signed a lease?
It's 1 year. So I specifically wanted to do it here because I couldn't find anything cheaper in my town, or anything with like good parking. This here has good parking and pretty accessible.
Yeah. Okay, so what you might want to do is focus your advertising efforts on the town that doesn't have any competition. Okay. I mean,
hmm
you kind of already established yourself physically somewhere. So, I mean, to ask you to pick up and move would be, that would be a lot. And so what I think I would do is um, I'd probably focus my advertising efforts on the town that doesn't have any competition. So,
hmm
you know, throwing a billboard up in that town might not be a bad idea if you can get a good spot.
Okay.
Because I mean, people are interested in weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy and that sort of a thing. And your Google search ads, you can pick, where you want those ads to appear. And so it might not be a bad idea to, have those ads appear more in the areas where the services aren't available.
hmm
Okay. Um, But yeah, I mean, your clinic is such a baby at this point. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. It's kind of really difficult to give you straight up advice on what you should do just because it's so new. And I don't think that it's really been enough time for you to pivot and, change what you have to change. I mean, I think do some Google search ads. I think, going out into the community and dropping off cards at, barber shops or whatever, and, going to some gyms and just trying to get out there and spread the word and, making sure your Google business listing is optimized, your website's optimized, that sort of a thing. I mean, I think that at this point, it's just more or less being a little patient. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Oh, so I can put a sign out here. The town doesn't allow it. They'll come and ask you to, take it away. But I didn't want to do that because I don't want to get too busy and get overwhelmed because I still want to work full time till this takes off. So I wanted to talk to you just to make sure I was doing all the right things and, making the right moves. But yeah.
Um, my piece of advice for you is don't worry about getting too busy.
Okay.
Like, you have a full day on Saturday to see patients. I mean, you could see 10 patients in that one day if you wanted to. Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about being too busy. Like, I mean, I say a lot of times in the podcast, be patient, work out the kinks, don't get too busy, kind of just figure out the workflow and stuff before you get busy, right?
hmm
But in this situation, I feel like that you should just do whatever you need to do to get some patients in the door at this point.
Okay.
So go put that sign out there.
Okay.
It's just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't do that. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so I'd say go ahead and do that too, and then just be patient. Okay. I think you just need to be patient right now. I think it's been 2 weeks. Your clinic is such a baby right now.
hmm
Yeah. You get a handful of people coming in and then they tell their friends and family and word of mouth starts. And then, that usually takes a few months for it to really start snowballing. Um, so you just got to kind of be patient until that happens. Um, you know, it sucks though. The first 2 or 3 months can really suck because you're spending your own money to keep the doors open,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's just one of the sacrifices that you have to make with a business at the beginning of it. You got to invest some money into it
Yeah.
to see the return. You know what I mean? Like very few people can start a practice with little money and it goes on autopilot mode within weeks or a month. That is very, very rare. I mean, you hear that story on this podcast sometimes, but that is not the norm by any
Yeah.
stretch of the imagination. It's just not. All right. So just set aside the money for the 3 months. And, by month 3 or 4, you should be on autopilot. Like all the expenses should be paid for by the income coming in, at the 3 month mark. That's usually that's a good key factor to kind of, strive for. If you're hitting that at the 3 or 4 month mark, then, you're on the right track. So that should be just one of those goals that you should just have, by the 3 or 4 month mark. My clinic is basically paying for itself. That's kind of like one of those key factors that you should really keep an eye on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you're 2 weeks in here. So, I mean, you still got a ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in terms of, I mean, well, before we move on, any other questions about marketing?
I've had like two influencers message me about, coming in for like free infusion so they could post it. One of them has like 5,000 followers and the other has 8,000. Is that something, do you think it's worthwhile?
Hell with it. Try it.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
they're basically, you're just going to give them some free services and they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. What does that cost you? $100 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally worth it.
Okay.
You never know. I mean, even if you get just a handful of patients from it, it was worth it. You know what I mean?
That is true, yes. And
Yeah.
I
Like,
also have in my town there's a magazine
no, I don't
that
waste your money.
nope, okay.
No, no, those magazines are typically a waste of money.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, any other questions?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So client retention. So how do you keep the patients, right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep them by making sure that the value you're providing them is optimized essentially. So, you're charging affordable rates. You're providing really, really good care. You're prompt in answering the phone, responding to complaints, responding to questions, et cetera. Basically, providing a world-class customer service kind of experience. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Providing good patient care, making sure that what they're paying for is seen as valuable and that it is affordable and cheaper than your competition.
Okay.
Okay. Um, that really is how you keep a patient. It's really not rocket science. I mean, think about it yourself. Like if you were going to a clinic like this, what would you want to stay
Mm-hmm.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you want affordable pricing, good customer service. If you ask a question or if you have a problem or whatever, you want a response, same day. Like you don't want to wait days. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want good care. You want to feel better. I mean, if all those things are being met, you should be good to go.
Right. I
That's
keep
pretty much
asking my
it.
husband, like, what do you, because he goes to the med spa, the really big med spa in this town that he used to go there for cryotherapy. So I'm always asking him, like, what do you like about it before I started all this, trying to get his input. So yeah, all that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really not rocket science. I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. I mean, you got to treat a clinic just like a business. It's just like any other business. Um, what happens with a lot of people is that they start getting content and they stop trying and putting in that additional effort. When that starts happening is when usually people start falling off and your business kind of stagnates.
Hmm.
So never really get content with your business. Always be striving to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do that, your business will continue to grow.
Okay.
Have you done some market research on pricing to make sure that what you're pricing is competitive?
Yes. So the cheapest I found around here for like the IV therapy, that's what I really wanted to do in the beginning. And once I started listening to the podcast, I was like, yeah, maybe it'll be like a nice add-on. Seems like everyone, that's what, when people call, that's what they're looking for. Instagram, when they reach out, that's what they're looking for. So the cheapest I found around here was 150. So that's what I'm doing. And they get 10% off the first one, the first service. So for the TRT, it's not that cheap around here, but I'm doing 165 for the membership if you do like a monthly membership.
And what about weight loss?
The weight loss I'm also doing cheaper than what I've seen around here. So the tirzepatide, I don't know if anyone's gonna want to do that, but I found that Strive Pharmacy has it broken down better. I liked how they have their prices and compared to the other pharmacies. So I'm doing that, and I'm charging for my payment out of that. The total is like $100. So
Okay. I mean, all that sounds pretty reasonable. You might be getting calls for IV infusion, but like I've said in multiple podcasts before, the IV infusion, you can make money with IV infusion. You can. It's just you're going to make more easy money with the hormone replacement therapy and the weight loss.
mm,
Because the IV infusion is very labor intensive.
yeah,
Yeah, and the margins are okay, and a lot of the patients it's just kind of a one-time thing, and that's it.
right,
They might come in every once in a while for another infusion, or you might get someone who comes in once a month, or that sort of a thing. But a lot of times it's just kind of a one said and done sort of a thing, a treat and street kind of thing.
yeah,
So your goal, if you're getting calls for IV infusion, your goal when they get there is to ensure that they are also aware that you do weight loss and hormone replacement therapy.
mm-hmm,
So make sure that that's clearly vocalized and that it's pretty apparent that you're doing that other stuff too, because you want those patients to purchase that from you. That's
right,
where that recurrent income is.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. IV infusion, I don't do IV infusion anymore. I just do vitamin injections. Just because the IV infusion is just such a pain in the ass. I just don't find it worthwhile anymore. And so
yeah,
we just give vitamin injections to my men's health patients or my weight loss patients or whatever is just, a la carte kind of adjunct sort of a thing.
yeah,
So also make sure you're offering some vitamin injections as well, on your list of services, because some people just want to come in for a vitamin D injection or something.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I have some injectables on my website.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that people are finding you for the IV infusion and not the weight loss or the hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't even push it on my Instagram. Mainly when I boost ads, it's the TRT and the weight loss. But
Well, like I said, I think you just need to be a little patient here.
hmm
Those patients will come.
yeah,
I think if you could put a billboard out somewhere on a busy street in that town that has 30,000 people in it, I think you'll start getting some phone calls.
okay,
It's
I'll
a
do it.
it's kind of expensive. I mean, it's an investment, okay? And it's
Yeah,
going to cost you probably like $5,000 to have it up there for 3 months. All right.
yeah,
But it at least gets the word out
mhm,
there. Like
yeah,
people are aware that you exist. And make sure that billboard is very straight to the point.
okay,
Clinic name, weight loss, testosterone replacement therapy, IV infusion, call, and put your number and put your and put your web address on there and just leave it at that. Make it as simple as possible.
hmm
Yeah. Because people are driving by it or they're stopping at a traffic light or whatever. They don't have a whole lot of time to look at it, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So keep it very, very, very simple.
okay,
All right. So that might be something, that might be worthwhile. Um, but uh, but yeah, I'd say that you just need to kind of be a little patient here and see what happens with the weight loss and the testosterone replacement therapy. That should be really your sole focus. That's how you're going to build this business to start working for you versus you having to sit there and do IVs and really working your
yeah,
ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, I enjoy doing the IVs. That's what I was in, I infusion nurse. So I always like doing that. But yeah, after I listened to your podcast, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
might enjoy it until you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Until you don't, and that's probably going to happen. Like I guarantee you it will. You'd be like, God,
Yeah.
I'm only making like $70 and this is so much damn work. Like I
Uh-huh.
have my weight loss patients that I'm making $150 a month for, and I only talk to them for 5 minutes. Like you'll start realizing how much just of an energy drain it really is and how much you're
Hmm.
really truly making on it. So it's okay to do right now. Like that's fine, but just more or less don't make that your focus unless the market is telling you otherwise.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you start a clinic and you offer 3 or 4 different services, and one service in particular just really takes off. And that should kind of tell you something about, your local market. Maybe there just isn't a whole lot of that available, or maybe that's what really people are looking for. And if that's the case, then that's something that you sometimes, really should start focusing on. Like listen to your patient, listen to your customer, listen to the market, and let the market tell you what it wants. And
Hmm.
so if you find yourself getting a lot of IV infusion, bookings and something like that, then it might be worthwhile to really start hammering down on that and maybe hire an RN or something to come in and help.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's not the case. And hopefully your, testosterone replacement therapy takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
only had one call about that, and he was on the fence. He said he wanted more kids and he wasn't sure. So I was like, I didn't want to push too hard. So I said, okay, just, give me a call back when you're ready.
Well, when they push back on that, they're kind of interested, but they're kind of cold. He gave you an excuse. Oh, well, I still want to have kids. It's just like, then why did you call?
Right.
So yeah, what I normally tell them is, well, we'll put you on Clomid or HCG with the treatment, and you'll be able to maintain your fertility. That's not a problem. We have patients who get their wives pregnant all the time on testosterone replacement therapy. You know, like
Hmm.
I mean, I have 2 kids, and I mean, I got one, and one's being baked right now. But I'm on testosterone.
Yeah.
I literally did HCG for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Like, it's really not that big of a worry. I have plenty of patients who get their partners knocked up on testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
It doesn't shut it down completely.
Okay.
Yeah. So when people call and they give you that, just that should be your response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
So,
was going to be my question at the end. If you were working on number two, congrats.
oh, well, yeah, personal question. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, yeehaw. All right. So, uh, anyways, though, any other questions or anything?
No, never. I had a feeling you were going to say just be patient, and I really need to be, but no.
Sometimes you just need to have a little bit of reassurance.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your clinic is such a baby at this point. It's just be patient, give it some time. The biggest piece of advice I can give you right now is just listen to your patient, listen to your customer, and make sure you deliver what they want. Don't shove something down someone's throat. You know what I mean? Just listen to what they
Yeah.
want and deliver what the need is.
Yeah. Well, before I officially opened 2 weeks ago, I went to two different gyms, and I felt like I was shoving it down their throats because no one was interested. So I've decided I don't know if I want to advertise at gyms or
If you can get a gym that'll allow you to put some posters up or put some ads up on a TV screen or whatever, by all means, do it.
okay.
It works. We get patients from that. Like we have ads. Like I don't advertise that much in my men's health clinic anymore. I just really don't. I don't need to. But we still have a few ads out there, and one of the ads that we do have are ads on screens in gyms. Like it works.
Okay.
We get patients from it.
Okay.
Yeah. So see what you can do in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth it, and it's usually pretty cheap.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All
all
right.
right. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you were going to ask me that personal question. Do you have maybe another personal question for me?
Um, Do you still enjoy doing this? Talking to other NPs, helping them out? Or do you feel like at some point, maybe very soon, you're gonna stop doing these consultations?
I love doing these podcasts, to be honest with you. I really do. Like I truly enjoy doing these. So I'll probably never stop doing these, to be honest with you, unless something unforeseen happens, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't stop doing these. I mean, I'd be perfectly happy if we can celebrate, episode 1000 or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like doing these. It's enjoyable for me. It spreads the word. A lot of people get a lot of value out of it. It's like, I mean, I helped you directly, but this episode
Mhm.
probably also helped someone else listening to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, this is probably one of the most popular nurse practitioner focused podcasts there are. I mean, we have,
Yeah.
10,000 weekly listeners. Like a lot of people listen to this.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's very, very helpful. I've listened to since I literally just got introduced to you in November, and I've listened to all the episodes, even the psych ones that don't really apply to me. And it's truly really helpful. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, I mean, I'm going to continue doing this obviously and I'm working on some other projects right now and one big project that I'm working on right now is, I'm starting a business where I'm going to teach people how to create their own course business, like I've done it. I know how to do it now. And there
Hmm.
isn't really a class you can take. There isn't really a book you can read. I basically learned how to do this by doing it. And so now I want to take this knowledge and teach basically any kind of professional how to start their own, education business. So that's kind of my next step. That's kind of I hope to have that launched in April or May. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and so that's kind of like, I'm pivoting to that. I'm gonna focus a little bit on that too. But this, lead NP, this podcast and conferences and stuff like this, I'll be doing this until I can't do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good question. So, all right. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope this was helpful. And you have my email. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you so much. And I'll reach back out once I have, because I always wonder how the people that you spoke to in the past, how they're doing. I wish more people would come back to do it so we know how it's going. But
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't follow back up with me. I don't know why they don't. They
yeah.
just don't. Maybe their business failed and they just don't have anything else to talk about. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people just never do. So I mean, by all means, 3 or 4 months from now, I mean, you got my email. Hell, email me. I'd
Okay.
be happy to do a follow up.
Okay. Will do. All right. Thank
Okay.
you so much, Justin.
All right, no problem. Take care. Bye. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Mercy. Pretty good episode. I mean, pretty short, pretty to the point, but her practice has only been open for 2 weeks. It's still a real baby. There's just not really a whole lot to really change or do at this point. I mean, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you should at this point understand the basics, right? Of what you need to do to make sure that your practice is positioned to, obtain new clients. And I think that for her, she sounds like she has pretty much all that stuff already done. She has a Google Ads, she's her Google Business Listening, a website, etc. And I think she just needs to be a little patient. I think that that's just a virtue that most entrepreneurs should really strive to have and to nurture. So if you want to be a successful investor or a successful entrepreneur, learn the virtue of patience, okay? Sometimes it is best to just sit back and wait before you start changing a bunch of stuff and start getting FOMO, fear of missing out, okay? Sometimes it's best to just sit back and let things happen. All right, hope everyone enjoys this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.